Hello, I'm Lucky Jide Salu and welcome to NigeriaReal podcast. Today with me is Yemi Ogunfemi. He's an entrepreneur, the founder of Yemi Supermarket that caters mainly for the Afro-Caribbean community. The first to venture into that business actually in the Grace community, Grace area in Essex. He's also a parish councillor at Medway Council, chairman of Trust, which stands for Thorough Racial Unity Support Task Group. He has a passion for helping individuals and organizations set up their businesses and is committed defending the rights of the people. Yemi, welcome to Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Mr.
I've actually come to know you for a number of years now,
Yes.
and admire you both at close quarters and at a distance. Close quarters when I was involved in the restaurant business, you were of tremendous help to me, and you sacrificed your time and wisdom and experience and encouragement at the time, and I admired you at a distance when I was actually informed that you became a councillor at Medway. So it's fair to say that you're a busy man. So before we talk about your entrepreneurial stints and political journeys, let's talk about your background. You've located to UK, you're based in UK. So what brought you here? Why UK?
Okay, I was born here.
Okay.
My parents relocated in 1978, but actually 1977, back to Nigeria. And that's where I went to my primary school. I went to Command General School in Ikeja, and then I went to Command Secondary School in Ibadan. As of the time I was finishing my secondary school education, my immediate senior brother, my older brother, and my eldest brother actually were already here, and that wanted me to, whatever I said there doing Nigeria, come over and let's carry on where you started from. So I said, okay. I was eager to go because I was under the pegs of dad and mom, so I wanted to be free and start my own life. So yes, and that's what brought me to United Kingdom. I didn't know anywhere else. My eldest brother lives in America, but my other two brothers were here in the United Kingdom. That's where the lead was from. A lot of my cousins and family members were here, so the general instinct was come back to the United Kingdom and start in the United Kingdom. That's why I'm here.
That's interesting. Coming here, did you actually think it was going to be difficult for an African to succeed here in the UK?
Not at all. When we were growing up, the myth was you come into the United Kingdom as an African man or as former from Nigeria, and it was as if it was the same plain level field like any other person here. It's when you get here that you know that the parameters are different, and that's when you now start to learn that things are not the way they seem to be. People come home, they bring you presents, and they buy you clothes. So you think, well, if I go to London, it's going to be as easy as everybody makes it to be. But believe me, when I got here, it was a different ballgame entirely.
Why the food business?
My mother, may her soul rest in perfect peace, was a businesswoman.
Okay.
And she was into beverages, so she was a distributor and also a wholesaler, but also she was an exporter of cocoa beans for chocolates those days. So we have been in the form of retail and a bit of wholesaling right from a young age. When I came into United Kingdom, the first job I got was working for Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Okay.
Didn't know any different. Got to Kentucky. Within the first 2 days, I put my hand in hot oil. It had burnt my fingers. But I enjoy cooking. Even whilst I was at school, I'd come back from boarding school. I'd come home and I would cook for my mom. And I had a lot of experience to do, experiments to give. So I've always wanted to be a chef. And that was my passion then. So when I went to Kentucky, I was like, okay, I was learning new trade. I went to work with McDonald's, and I did a few other things there. When I was looking for pay, I was looking for better money, and I was going to go to college. I now got a job with Safeways in High Street, Kensington, and that was what exposed me to the food industry, into the food retailing and manufacturing, and that is how I got into food retailing.
Interesting. While I was introducing you, I said you were the first to set up a supermarket mainly for the Afro-Caribbean community. That must have been a daunting task.
I am a very adventurous person. Nothing scares me. Maybe as I'm growing a bit older, I've started to think, you need to calm down a bit. But when I was growing up, I was fearless. I take risk, and if it happens, it happens. But going into the food industry or going to that food, Afro-Caribbean food in Thurrock, when I got here, I left Safeways. Whilst I was working at Safeways, I was working at Tesco. So I was a food and veg coordinator at Safeways, but I was also the coordinator for the bakery department in Tesco. So I was balancing the two together. When I left university and I went to work for Pop Training and the NHS, I left to go and work for Lidl, and I was a branch manager for Lidl, and I saw what our people bought. I saw what our people were engaged in.
Afro-Caribbean.
The Afro-Caribbean. I saw the profit margins in what we were buying, and I was thinking, wow, what is there for us as Afro-Caribbeans in the area? I was looking to buy a property. And at that point, it was time for me to move on in life and start to do other things. I saw a few friends and big uncles who had bought properties. So I came into Grace. A friend of mine was a security officer here, saw properties here, so brought me here. And then looked at the area. There were not a lot of Nigerians, it might be, but there were a few Afro-Caribbeans. There were from Jamaica and a few others. And I thought, okay, where do you guys buy food from? They said, Peckham. Where do you get your stuff from? Some of them would say, Upton, Peckham. I thought, wow, let me drive to Upton. I found it was a huge journey. Right. We moved in here, we relocated here, we bought our property here. I was still working in London, but I had to leave Shooting to go to Brixton or Peckham to buy food and bring it home. And I thought, okay, it's a huge distance. And I thought, wow, if I set up something small here, that means I'll be able to win the heart of people here. And that is what brought me into setting up one. And to be honest, I have never regretted doing that. It was scary, but the price of a store then, and what I needed to put in to make it happen was not as much as I expected. But something also spurred me on. I remember going to see the estate agent, and I said to him, I wanted this shop on Blackberry. He said, what were you going to do then? And I said, Afro-Caribbean food. And he laughed. He said, you will not last 6 months. I said, why? He said, you will not last 6 months. Hence reasons he took the deposit of the store, the building from me. He had to make sure I paid insurance, because he said I will not last 6 months. And I said to myself, regardless of what happens, I will prove a point to this man. And that's how I started.
Tell me, you must have encountered some challenges. Give me a specific challenge you encountered when the whole thing was set up, and how did you overcome it?
When I first came and I set up, I had a few people who were not from Africa as well, were not Afro-Caribbeans, who would come into this place and say this shop was smelling, or would say, what do you think you're doing here? Somebody said to me once, and I actually called the police, and I didn't get a good joy from it then. He said to me, this place is not for this sort of food. When are you going to pick up yourself and go back to Dover? And I could, knowing the kind of young boy I was then, I could have jumped straight at him and thought, you know what, who do you think you're talking to? But I thought, people's mindsets need to be changed here. And people need to know that I have bought my house here. I'm not going anywhere. And there are a few people who are here. People also compared my prices with what they will find in Peckham. People will say, well, if I go to Brixton, I'll buy a pack of Maggi for $1.99 and you're selling us at $2.50. It's expensive. And I would try and tell them, oh, it's going to cost you about £10 to go to Peckham. What are you talking about? But I stuck to my guns, and I felt, you know what? In every area of life, you would face challenges. When I was working in NHS, I applied to become a director on 3 different occasions. I didn't get the job, or the job was, they would tell me, oh, well, we've changed the job spec, and then I would go for the interview again, and they would say, well, sorry, we don't have funding for it anymore. I don't. Well, in everything, you get challenges. But for me to succeed, you have to be able to know that, you know what, I'll fight for this, I'll make this happen, and I'll do it, and I'll make sure I succeed at it. And yeah. But the good thing that I could do then was I was able to meet people and relate to people, sell my products, do some kind of customer services, hence the reasons how I met you. Yeah, those days, you didn't come to buy in my store because you knew who I was, and you did not carry on coming there. It was because of my relationship and how I was and how I tried my customer service and customer care as it was, as people would say. And that's what kept us going, and that's why we are still there today.
Did you have a mentor when you started off?
No, I didn't. There was a lot of trials and error. I made a lot of errors. When I mean errors, I made a lot of mistakes. And then when I mean mistakes, I mean costly mistakes, financial mistakes. In so far in this business, if I tell you how much I had lost in terms of money, It's unbelievable. People say, well, where do you get this money from? I said, well, I borrowed them. I borrowed from the bank. And there was a time I did not have £5 to my name. And that is because one part of the business failed. I expanded, the area failed. I had to close the shop down. I had to I had to do a mortgage, and then I went to the bank and said, well, I owe you guys £52,000. You know, how do we do about this? Well, you have to pay it. And I paid that money over a period. I paid it off. It was hard. Sometimes I thought, what are you thinking about? What brought you here?
What kept you going?
I knew I was going to succeed at it. If I look at the likes of Safeways, I look at the likes of Lidl. When I started working with Lidl was not big in the United Kingdom. They were doing okay, but they were not big in the United Kingdom, big in Europe. And for me to see how they were going and how things were, they must have faced challenges. And I just thought, you know what? I am not employable anymore, and I know I had this conversation with either yourself or someone in the past. I said to myself, I am not going to go and start applying for jobs anymore. So, whatever you have now, you have to make it work. And I stuck at it. You just need to continue to be innovative. You need to see what people want. You need to know what's out there, what other people are doing that's making them successful. If it's in deliveries, if it's online sales, every single thing that you can make appeal to your customers needs to be done. It's hard, it's daunting, it's stressful. But yeah, we're where we are today, and I thank God for it.
You kept at it. I did mention that you were the first to set up, but there are quite a few around the area now. Do you feel threatened by them?
It makes me stronger. When I hear a new store is opening, I panic for a couple of days, and I'm going to be very, very honest. Some people say, oh, they don't panic. I panic because it's a small area. We have a market share, and regardless of how I see it, a new store coming to the area will pick up a bit out of the market share. What do? I'll have a very, very, very encouraging wife. My wife will stand there and say, so what? There are 500 estate agents in one road in Upton Park, and they all sell, so what's the issue? You just keep on praying, you focus on your customers, and see what other people are doing that you're not doing, and make sure you do that. So I get up myself, and I know most of my competitors here know me. I go into their stores. I go and look at what they do. And they say, oh, do you want to buy something? I said, no, my shop is around the corner. I just want to come and see what you're doing. Some of them don't like it, but it's tough. It's marketing strategy. I go in there, I look at what they do, I look at what I'm not doing well, and I compete. It's competition. Competition is healthy, and it makes you not complacent. If you see yourself as someone that has made it and you're not going to compete anymore, you think you've done it, you'll be swept off your feet in no time.
So you embrace challenge.
Or you have to. In this business, you have to. In this world of today, you have to. When I was doing my degree, Morrison's was not in the top 10. Yeah. Tesco's was number 6 or number 5. It was the likes of Waitrose, J. Sainsbury's, Marks and Spencer's. Where are they today? Tesco's has done very well. Morrison's bought Safeways, and they're where they are. So if those guys thought there was no market for them and they had closed down, their dreams are dead. But today they're doing well, and they're increasing their portfolio and their turnover, and that's where I'm going.
So you still have that dream?
Oh yes, I have. I still have 2 dreams. I'm going to become a superstar, and I still have to have a bespoke restaurant. It has to happen.
Wow, I was just about to ask that. The Afro-Caribbean food, Nigerian food, is slowly getting into the big supermarkets. Why is it taking this long?
I think we have not marketed our products in the right manner. 1, 2. I also think that we have not been able to tell people that our food is very delicious. It can be very, very healthy, and it can be done in such a way that is appealing to everybody. And that is why it took a long time for our food to go in. I mean, I go into superstores and I see chicken korma. I see that, and I see tandoori chicken. Why can't we have jollof rice? Why can't we have fried rice on the shelves? Luckily enough, nowadays, I mean, I have a friend, a very, very close friend, who has 3 products in Tesco's now. He has Moin Moin in tins, Varo Foods. He also has jollof rice, mild and hot jollof rice now, and it's already in Tesco's. It's going to roll out in Asda in a couple of weeks' time, and people eat it. If you go online and see people buy jollof rice, they buy it, they eat it. Why have we not excuse me, why have we not thought of actually producing and marketing those foods and actually having a roadshow to make sure that they know that African food is delicious and is well? Our foods are in Tesco's. Maybe not the cooked foods as much, but we have the whole range of super malt, of palm oil, of Scotch bonnets, and all that stuff that is being sold at Tesco's. And they have they call it African finest now. They have all of that. Wanis, which is another big supermarket, one of the biggest Afro Caribbean wholesalers and distributors in the United Kingdom, also produces products for Tesco's. The likes of Jumbo, owned by Hassan Krayan, he tries as much as possible to take his products out for people to see it, and it's in some stores. You know, you go to Cannington, you find it there. You go to Tesco's. They look at areas that they put their Afro Caribbean products, because obviously in some areas it doesn't sell you some of that. But what we want to do tomorrow is even the English, even the Chinese, even the Japanese, they start to buy our food, and it's stocked everywhere else. It's hard, but we're going to get there.
That's good. You know, NigeriaReal, I always look at the journey we undertake through the attitude and mindset, and I know that if you don't have the right attitude and mindset, it'll be very, very tough for you to have survived the food industry in particular.
Yes, that is a very, very strong point, and I totally agree with you. But it's also a circle of people that are around you that also give you constructive criticisms. I can remember a long time ago, and I'm saying this, I'm on your show, but I'm also saying this because you're an older brother to me. I can remember a long time ago you came into one of my stores and you said to me, Yemi, this doesn't look very neat. And I said, what do you mean it doesn't look very neat? He said, oh, why can't you do it this way? I took it that day. After you left, and this was time I'm saying it to you, after that, I thought, you seem to be telling me it's not neat. But you look back and you think, actually, that is how he sees it. He's come out from the outside to tell me what he sees from the outside. Sometimes you look at your products and you think everything is fine because it's your product. Someone else sees that and thinks it's rubbish. We don't like to take those criticisms and think, well, what does he know? I've done it. But hold on, he's the one that you want to sell to. He's the one that sees it. And those kind of people around me have been able to tell me where I'm going wrong, where I need to do. Oh, you told me, because I have another very good friend that Taiwo is the owner of DTNT Corporations. You know, HMRC at one point in time labeled him and said one of the best that they've come across. It's about professionalism. It's about constructive criticism. It's about having the right people who you know that will tell you the truth regardless of how you feel or not. But it's also you thinking inside yourself, where do I want to be? Do I want to be at the top, or do I just want to be at the bottom where I get kicked about? If you want to be at the top, there's a stressful process to get there, but you will get there and you will make it happen.
That's brilliant. Let's talk about your political life. I know you have strong opinions. I know you are not shy to express your opinions. Why did you? I never actually thought you would get into becoming an officer, because I know that you defend people at the police station. You stand up to police officers and read them their rights. You know. So why a councillor?
I needed to see some of us who had the passion to help our people, the commitment to let our voice be heard across the country. And I've seen some people who have done it and who are doing very well at it, who are actually Afro-Caribbeans, who are in politics, especially in the United Kingdom. And for me, it was, okay, this is an opportunity for me to serve and give back to this community that I have been fed from. I went to school in the United Kingdom. Becoming a man today, it was in the United Kingdom. Starting my business, United Kingdom gave me the opportunity to do so. I have children here. I've used the NHS. My wife works in this country. You know, so we have benefited from the community and from the country. We need to give back. How do we give back? I work in different charity organizations and help charity. But let my voice be heard. Let me stand for my people. Let me tell them that, you know what, whatever stigma you might have about Nigerians or Africans is not true. We have great people out there who are very conscientious, who are very good, who do great things out there. How do we represent ourselves? And that's what took me into it.
What would you say to the Africans, Afro-Caribbeans that shy away from participating, for instance, in elections?
I'm sorry to say this, and it might come across rude, but I just think it's absolute ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous that we don't vote, but you want your voices to be heard. How can you not vote and expect your voice to be heard? Whatever we do now or we don't do now would affect our children's children in this country. Let me give you an example. They want to build schools in the area. Yes? And we think that our children are not represented. How are we going to make our voices known? If they don't know about your child, I give you an example. In some schools, they said to teach other languages and all that stuff. If you don't go and make your voice heard, nobody will recognize you. Yes? How are you going to say you want to be part of a community when, or you want to have a voice in that community? They must reflect your own issues when you don't want to speak out. How many of us vote? How many of us actually go out and campaign? I got to campaign. I got and knocked doors during the last general election. I was on the phone. I was on the road campaigning. I would campaign on what I believe in. Now, my party, I'm a conservative. My party does not reflect the views of everybody. Yes, but what I take from that party and what I feel benefits me, my creed, and people around me, I will fight for and I'll stand for. That's what I will go out there and talk about. But we must participate and we must be part of this growing economy if we want our voices to be heard and we want the great changes for our children to come.
Wow. Well, yeah, surely going to come back. I'm running out of time. What keeps you awake at night?
Oh, a lot. I'll tell you a lot. My children must be great. And I'm not talking about great in terms of money. You see what's happening out there. You see people stabbing each other. You see people fighting. What is the best thing that I can give my children? It's one of the major things that keeps me awake. And that is, I don't just want to give them a fishing rod for them to be able to fish. I want to give them a competitive fishing rod, which gives them a competitive edge to be able to fish out there when it's time for them to fish. I don't believe in spoiling children with money and making sure that they have, when they finish school, they have this house and they have that car. If it comes, it comes. But you know what? I learned that my father didn't give me, when I was getting married, my father didn't give me a house. Yes, he gave me some money, but didn't give me anything major. Everything that I've achieved today is by the grace of God and my hard work. That keeps me awake at night thinking, am I doing the right thing for my children? Am I doing the right thing for my future? What is going to happen to me when I grow older? What is a legacy that I want to leave for my children, but also those who are around me? What are people going to say about me when I am not as strong anymore? Are they going to say, oh, Yemi was a very good boy, or he was a nuisance? No. So that keeps me awake at night. Also, obviously, I'm a businessman. You start thinking about competition and your financials and all that stuff. So yeah, that still keeps me awake at night. But you know what? I don't have major fears. I have a beautiful wife. I have a very strong woman. She keeps me on my toes. Yes, we have a future together, and there are great things happening there. And I know that it will be well. So far, I'm a Christian, and I hang on to God seriously. So that alone is enough for me to know that my future is sorted. But then, because I'm a Christian and I believe that my future is sorted, it does not mean I should just sit at home and sleep. So I still have to continue to work hard. What I would really love to see is, when do I stop working hard and enjoy myself? I don't know. So that's where I am.
Who would you regard as a hero of yours?
Whoa, I had a couple. When I was growing up, I used to look at Richard Branson as my mentor. And the reasons why I looked at Richard Branson as my mentor was he came from nothing to become somebody. People say he's out of this planet because he wants to fly to the moon and all that stuff, but he's very confident. He knows he can do it. And Richard Branson knows when he sneezes and the public sees him sneeze, the rest of them catch a cold. Mm-hmm. And his attitude, he was not a flamboyant person. He's never come out to be arrogant. He's never shown himself that he has money. I had another mentor then when I was in Safeways, and it was the owner of Safeways. It's called Alistair Grant. Alistair Grant one day saw me in my store in Safeways, Kensington, and I didn't know he was him. I came in that day, and we knew that there was a visitor from head office coming in, and the owners of Safeways were coming in, so we were panicking. And we had this older woman. She doesn't sleep she sleeps in front of her house, not in her house. She's a wealthy woman. we had salad bowls where people put salad in bowls and take away. And she would go to the salad bowl and put the spoon in the salad bowl and put it straight into her mouth. And, because she sleeps outside and she was a bit not, she was unkept. I was angry. Think, God, this is my department and the head is coming. And so I went to rush her off the place and said, "I'm sorry, you can't do this." And I was trying to move her out. The man opposite me was Alistair Grant. And he came and said, "Handle that with care." I said, "I will, sir, but she's not supposed to be so hygienic for this." And he said, "Oh, that is a very good point, but just handle that with care." So I handled that with care, and I took her outside to come to the taxi, and I know her son came eventually to pick her up. And all of a sudden, I saw that the whole store was quiet. My bosses was there, and they were looking at me, and I think I was thinking, "Boss, what are they looking at?" And one of my manager said to me, "That is Alistair Grant." I thought, "Oh my God, I'm fired today." But the man came back and congratulated me. I said, "Very well done. That is how you should treat customers, and that is how you should do things." And the way he was, as simple as he was, don't make me think he was rich, or he had it anymore, he was the owner. And that is what has spurred me on. I want to be like people like that.
Brilliant. I always end the program by asking this question. If you were to give the 20-year-old Yemi any advice, if you were to give Yemi a phone call, 20-year-old Yemi a phone call, what advice, what would you tell the 20-year-old?
I have a 19-year-old daughter. I'm just going to be 20, so I know what I say to them. What I say to the ladies is a bit different from what I say to the boys. But what I would say to that old Yemi, that 20-year-old Yemi is this. There is something good about you. There's something great about you. God has created you to be a champion. You need to find inside yourself what that thing is and make it work for you. But whilst you're going on that journey, 3 things must happen. You must not spoil your name. You must be nice, kind, generous, and honest in every single thing that you do. And lastly, hard work does not kill. It makes you smarter. That's all I will say to them. And the reasons why I will say that is 1, I never knew I was going to become a businessman. But I knew how to keep money and turn money around right from a young age. When I finished my degree, my immediate senior brother, Steve Ogunfemi, called me and said, "Yemi, I'm going to pay for your master's, and you go for your master's." And I looked at him and I laughed. In my mind, I said, "Is this man having a laugh or something? I prayed and fasted to pass my degree, and now you're telling me to go and do some masters." I said, "No, I'm not going to do my masters." He said, "Why?" I said, "Because I don't want to do masters. I want to go out there and make money." He said, No, it will make you marketable." I said, "No, I'm not interested." And he reported me to my mom, and my mom said, "He's paying for it, now it's free of charge." I said, "I didn't want to. I just wanted to go out there and do something." And today, they still say to me, they respect me for one thing, is that I did what I knew that I was good at, and I've done it. Would I tell my children to be educated? Yes. But there must be something in them. Not everybody is a businessman, and not everybody would have a master's or PhD. But education is important. Having said that, there are other vocational courses or things that you do that makes you great. You can become a locksmith tomorrow. You can become an athlete. You don't have to go to school. But if one fails, you have something to fall back on. I know you. You've been into pharmaceuticals. You're very good at what you do. Well-spoken. Very modest in the way you behave. Would you say it's what you did at your university levels that you're using now? No. But there's something inside of you that even when you're not making money, you enjoy doing, and this is one of it. That is what I'll tell them. Thank you very much, sir.
Yemi, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for coming onto NigeriaReal, and I'm sure I'm going to invite you back.
Thank you.
Run out of time, but it's been fantastic having you.
Thank you so much. Forgive me for that. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Well,